Welcome to Uninfluenced, you fuck sticks. We're supposed to wait 30 seconds, but y'all don't know how. We don't do that shit. Last week, Zohan fucked up. He didn't hit record on the something. He tried to explain it to us, and we just didn't give a fuck. So,
but yet, alas, here we are.
Yeah, we came back to do another one, and in some of the comments, a couple of them said we should just stop. Since we let Zach go, we should stop.
That's some loyal fans.
Yeah, put all our effort into mic drop, and I'm just a yes man. Man, fuck you. So I'm thinking after I read that, I'm like, okay, I'm a yes man. Because you make good points, and I agree with you. So I guess when you make good points, the next couple shows, even if I agree, I'm not going to agree.
Yeah, no matter what, like, I think, so especially like the liberal mentality is that whatever your opinion is, doesn't matter what mine is, just whatever your opinion is, I'm just going to disagree with it and I'm going to argue with you.
100%. Yeah. So from now on, it's just going to be almost a debate.
So you're a liberal now. Great.
Yeah. So we're going to do that for a couple shows. Yeah, and it trips me out, especially because I went back and I looked at some of the one guy who was really talking shit. I think his name's Christopher, some shit like that. It could be converted to a bitch name. But in that, he's talking about, one of them, I love everything Mike says. And this is a couple episodes ago. It's like, I'm a yes man, yet you come to listen to what Mike says. I agree with Mike, but it makes me a yes man. You're a dumbass. Continue to watch Mike drop, because on here, I'm going to agree, except for the next two episodes. Next two episodes, I'm disagreeing every fucking thing.
Every goddamn.
Mike be like, my car needs gas. No, it don't.
No, it don't. Put sugar in it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's wrong. It don't need gas. Fuck your car.
That's right. That's the new phone, huh?
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
You liking it?
Yeah, I really like some of the features on it. It's the new Samsung Galaxy. Just kidding. It's not at all.
New Palm Treo.
I made a sex tape with it. It was weird because it was just me. But I'm making the sex tape, and then the quality is really good. Yeah. I even painted a fucking face on my thumb, and it face tracked like a motherfucker. Yeah, I even got fast a couple times, to see if it would focus. The bokeh is amazing.
Yeah.
But what is cool about the phone, honestly, is so when you first get it, set up the camera, unlike all the other iPhones, it actually has filter modes that it puts on right away.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so if you like a dynamic picture, a brighter picture, you select that, and from then on, your pictures are like that. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm digging it. Digging it so far. But let me see what we're going to talk about today. Zohan, you got anything you want to talk about other than shit you didn't hit record again?
No, I hit record. Hello, everyone. You guys can see my face finally. But this is kind of I don't know how much you guys follow supply chain and all that, but it's all over the news how backed up and congested all of the ports are. Kind of what's y'all's take on that, just global supply chain? We're talking about how car parts are taking almost 10 weeks to get here. How does that mess everything up just from a global and just y'all's take on that?
First off, I've never heard an Indian say y'all.
That's number one.
Yeah. So, there's that.
Do you want me to just look at the camera and say y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
You got to have a fucking cowboy hat on while you're at it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wearing a Texas hat, so I guess that counts for something, right?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No. Go Longhorns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in Austin. That's not even really Texas.
Yeah, that's more California than anything.
Dude, it's fucking crazy, the shit that's going on there. Fucking Austin's lost its goddamn mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lost its fucking mind. Like, their police are not, like, they even put out a statement basically like, hey, unless you're, there's a violent fucking activity taking place or your life is in danger, call 311 and not 911.
Mm-hmm.
Call a social worker, basically. So good luck with that, Austin.
I don't think that says that at all.
Fucking nice work.
Pretty sure it's 511.
That's what it said.
I don't know. I don't think it did. See,
Yeah,
this is what y'all can expect the next 2 weeks.
That's not what it said. Yeah.
Dude, ever since I can remember, though, Austin's been the most fucked up city we've had in Texas.
Yeah.
And then you have all the California people that are moving there are really fucking it up. Like, our governor honestly probably won't make it, but with some of the dumbass laws he signed in this year, it's like, and I'm a do whatever the fuck you want type of person. This abortion law, I think, was his fucking nail in his coffin. You can't have an abortion past 6 weeks. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, that came up. But what's offensive to me about it, I guess not offensive because I don't do any of these things and I can't get pregnant. But say your kid has a medical condition that's going to cost you or the state hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout the year. Some people would just, okay, it's better for me and my family and my situation to let this go. And that's where a lot of people are like, no, you made this choice. You have to have that baby. Where it's really fucked up to me is if you're raped, molested, which is a form of rape, and there was another one, was it the underage? You still can't have an abortion. So if you get to past 6 weeks, and keep in mind that's in Texas, you can't have an abortion. You can go out of state and have an abortion somewhere else. Yeah. They just made it fucking difficult.
That's all it's going to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. All the people in Oklahoma, like where we have the pot stands, that are closer to us in these legal states, you're going to be pot stands and abortion clinics. Yeah. So you can get high as a motherfucker and have an abortion, or have an abortion then get high.
Yeah. To me, there's a couple things wrong with that. Number one is like the thought of the process of abortion certainly isn't something that I find attractive or easy to fucking swallow. It's also none of my fucking business.
Yeah.
And I think that you just got to let people do what the fuck they want to do for the most part. I get the gray area of, let people do whatever the fuck they want unless it's hurting somebody else, and people say, well, it's, murdering a fucking child and whatever. But to me, where I think it's pretty easy to separate that is that, you're responsible for that child.
Yeah.
In every fucking way, right? So if you're saying, hey, you have to have that, to me, then at least have some sort of caveat that says, okay, then you, the state, if you're saying that I can't have this, then you can fucking take care of it once it's here. Because, like you can't saddle me with the responsibility and not give me the chance to, to terminate it should I find that that's the best scenario. And I can't imagine a society that we live in that's evil to the point with which there are millions of fucking women that are like, can't wait to get pregnant so I can wait till that motherfucker's 3 days from birth and yank him out of there. Mm-hmm. Like that shit isn't happening.
No.
It's like that I guarantee you that's not an easy choice. I mean, yeah, are there some women that historically have used abortion as a form of birth control? Yes, or I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I would also say that's probably a fraction of a fucking percentage of people that get pregnant. But more than anything is that rules like that they don't fucking work. All they do is piss people off, is, basically seal your fate as a legislator or as a politician to not get fucking reelected, which I don't give a fuck. But all that's going to do is force people to, like you said, go to Oklahoma or fucking New Mexico, or, in their fucking bedroom with a goddamn coat hanger. They'll find a way around it, or they'll drink fucking Drano and try to do it that way, or, push themselves down the goddamn stairs.
That's why we built a 2-story.
Just in case.
Just in case.
But, that's the reality of it, is that, you're not fixing any fucking problem. And for the, for the moral victory that I think the group of people that thinks that they've gotten it really hasn't, because I think most people, agree that even in a state like Texas or among the Bible Belt down south, I still think, the majority of people think that you should be allowed to do what you want, by and large. But
I think we should change it to 18 years. Yeah, you can abort a kid up to 18 years.
It's hard to argue that. If you're financially and legally responsible for something, you ought to be able to do what you want. Now, again, like cart before the horse type of scenario, or just being consistent. If you're going to say, hey, you can't get an abortion past 6 weeks, okay, then I'm not financially or legally responsible for this little motherfucker. Then if you're going to make me have it, then you can take the onus on it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way, to play devil's advocate, I feel the same way about for all the women out there that say, my body, my choice, fucking, men, you have no fucking say in it. Similarly, is that if the man says, hey, I can't swing this, we made a mistake and I'm for an abortion, and the woman says, nope, fuck you, you're not going to tell me what I can or can't do with my body, I'm going to have this motherfucker, then that should waive your right to the legal and financial responsibility that you're going to put on that young man that that got you pregnant. Like you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't think you should have it. Unfortunately, both the government has it both ways in this case, and women have it both ways in this case. Mm-hmm. You can say, yeah, I'm having it, or no, I'm not. The guy has no say in it, but then gets strapped with fucking, whatever responsibility. And no, I'm not speaking from personal experience. There's not some bastard fucking Ritland kid out there that I tried to get rid of. So allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the real fucked up part about that law to me, again, is the chicks who have been raped, the chicks who have got pregnant really fucked up ways. They can't do nothing. I mean, some chicks, when they get raped, don't know they're pregnant for a long time. And then now they're like, oh, fuck, I'm stuck with this kid I don't want. Or there's the same thing, so that there's a medical procedure called a DNC. Yeah. Insurance don't cover that because it's technically an abortion, but you miscarried a baby and it was so far along, you have to go have it pulled out. Yeah. Well, you can't do that now.
Yeah. Does that count too? If there's even if there's no heartbeat though?
Still counts.
Because it's past 6. I mean, so to me,
but they went away from the chemical abortion. So you can't even take the pill now to chemically get rid of it.
Well, so, to me, again, like all things considered, it's still, this bill doesn't matter. I mean, it just doesn't. Like, it's not going to keep women from doing it if that's what they want to do. No different than California banning fucking 15 round and above magazines. Dudes in California just go to Arizona and buy the shit.
Yeah.
Or they smuggle it from fucking Mexico, drugs as an example. Like, again, like these people that are super pro for that policy, think that's this huge like moral victory, put a W in the column for God type of thing. And the fact is, human nature, proves it time and time again. Like they'll just find a way around it. Zohan, does that answer your question about problems at the port?
I was thinking the same thing. We went from port to abortion.
Didn't even try to answer that fucking question. I'll take a crack at it, unless you want to. You go so I can agree with you, maybe.
No.
No, I'm not going.
No, I'm not doing it. The port's just fucked up. I mean, we knew that was going to happen when you start fucking with China and shit like that. It's just going to happen. I mean, it's just fucked. There's no other way around it. Mike will get more into it. I'm going to say it's a good thing. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad we're taking a long time to get shit.
Yeah, I think there's a silver lining to it in two ways. One is that our society is kind of, I would say, almost crippled by a lack of impulse control with everything, and social media and Amazon are the two biggest culprits from that, in that they've provided such a convenience with both information and the ordering of products that now people are accustomed to just being able to literally pull a phone out of their pocket, a couple of fucking taps with their thumb, and groceries are showing up at their fucking house delivered fucking 2 hours later. Never before in the history of mankind has that even been close to being in the realm of possible the way that it is now. And so now, while, to your question, Zohan, it may seem like, holy shit, there's this huge catastrophe. If you go back 50 years, it's not. You go back 100 years, it's still way fucking faster. So in the grand scope of mankind, it's really not that big a fucking deal. But it also, so it does two things, in my opinion, silver lining wise. Is number one is hopefully it knocks people on their ass a little bit in terms of being so goddamn impatient with everything. But number two is that it also serves or should serve as a wake-up call to Americans in terms of being so goddamn dependent on so many other countries to provide us with stuff. We should have learned this from COVID fucking 18 months ago when we're having to import sack-rubbed fucking masks from China. I don't know why we still have to learn this lesson over and over, but The fact is that, manufacturing needs to come back to America in a huge way. And this, to me, just serves as another stark fucking reminder of that.
I disagree.
I disagree. And here's why.
Yeah. And here's why. Everything you just said was totally wrong. No, but in fact, you're right. We're both guilty of it too. We want shit and we want it now. Yeah. It's used to, you had to wait for shit. You'd order something and you'd have to give it time. Yeah. Nowadays it's no, I want it now. Amazon can get it here tomorrow.
Yeah. I want it by the end of the fucking day.
And for instance, we ordered monitors for the new computer. They said they'd be here Saturday. I get a deal, they'll come Sunday. And I'm pissed at this point. Yeah. Bitch. Yeah. It's not hurting us any waiting a little bit longer.
It's probably not being recorded anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Y'all are probably just getting the audio anyway.
Yeah. But, so, that's my take on it. I'm curious, as an 18-year-old zillennial, is that a thing?
Zillennial? We should make it a thing.
What's your take?
So, I guess my take on it is, and again, I've worked in global supply chain logistics this entire summer.
Dude, you're still shitting high school cafeteria food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But so my kind of take on it is that for me, it's more about, hey, what if there's like medical supplies on these ships that are coming in, and what about these smaller businesses that are struggling to just get their items to their customers, and them as the business are getting bad reviews for something that like FedEx isn't handling, something that UPS might not be handling, something that, these freight companies that are sending ships from Taiwan or China all the way to the LA port are really just fucking it up. So for me, it's like these Chinese companies that are owning these huge shipping boats are kind of being too lazy because they know that there's a lot of port congestion because America is we're the largest consumer in the world, and we have all this just congestion and all this stuff that they don't give a fuck either. Hell, one of the companies I know, they lost a container at sea. I don't know how the fuck you lose a container on a boat, but somehow it happened.
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple things. I agree, but that does, to me, that there's two things with that. Number one is it just further serves stop being dependent on other countries. But that still only, limits or mitigates issues like that to a certain extent. The fact is that still happens here in the United States. And I can give you personal examples is that, I got a message today from a protection dog client who feeds my food and was like, hey, we ran out of food, forgot to order it, but, whatever, even though it's on auto ship, whatever. The fact is that FedEx has, 2 bags of my dog food for them sitting in fucking Ohio for the last 4 days, just sitting there. Even though it was paid for priority shipping and whatever, they fucked it up. The fact is that between Amazon and the fact that, there's almost twice the population here in the United States as there was 40 years ago, there's just a lot of fucking people that need a lot of stuff and buy a lot of fucking things, and nobody makes their own anything anymore. So, again, 100 years ago, most people, they built their own shit. A lot of times would make their own furniture. They would fix their own fucking cars. They would, farm their own fucking food. That shit doesn't happen almost anywhere anymore. So you've got this hyper consumerism society that's just growing and growing and growing and growing. And so now it's how do you fucking keep up with that? Well, you can't. We're essentially a fucking virus, manning the planet and overpopulating it to a point where there's not going to be a way to sustain the appetite that human beings have on this fucking planet at the rate that it's growing. If you look at the population increase, I want to say, I think it was in 1700, there was just shy of 1 billion people, and now there's 7 billion, right? If you look at the scope of mankind, fossil-wise, about 200,000 years of human-like people being on the fucking planet, it's if you condense that or scale it down to, the human history, right, is about 3 seconds of time on the scale of planets being formed and whatever else, and even within our 200,000 year or so existence, the last 150 to 250 years is where almost all of us have all of the sudden come from, and so that sustainability from a population standpoint just flat out cannot be sustained. I don't care how efficient you make things, how smart people are about permaculture and fucking maximizing the space that they're on or whatever. The fact is, we're at a point where there's too many fucking people on the planet, and so the problems, quote unquote, that you're seeing take place right now, like that shit isn't going to get any better. I don't give a fuck who's in charge. I don't care how much industry is where. Like the fact is that we have insatiable consumerism appetites that are just not going to be fucking satiated.
I disagree.
Fuck you, you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can fix all this.
Yeah. Colonize Mars.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Total Recall style.
Total Recall was a good movie.
3 titties.
Yeah, 3 titties.
3 titties.
You imagine motorboating 3 titties?
I can't, man, because that's,
what do? You motorboat one and slap the other one?
Well, here's the good news, is one's in your mouth and you got one on each hand. So, in that regard, that's pretty...
It'd almost be perfect if the center one was a little smaller. So you could be mouth deep and...
Yeah, so that makes me think, why aren't there 3 tits then?
That makes...
because you don't need 2, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
So if you really only need 1, but there's 2, then why not 3?
I agree. I disagree. I'm sorry.
There should be 4.
There should be 4. They should have udders.
Yeah.
There should just be titties everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah. So you got another question outside the port?
I do. And this is about the, have you guys heard of the Evergrande crisis in China?
No.
It's like the I think it's the Lehman Brothers all over again. The economic crisis 2008, except the Chinese version. So yet another ripoff. But basically what happens is there's this massive real estate developer called Evergrande, and they took, I think it's either $300 million or $300 billion. I think it's $300 billion of foreign investing into, they basically wanted to develop a whole bunch of real estate. They went bankrupt and they can't pay it back. The unfortunate part is all of their investors were foreign investors. And so basically they asked the Chinese government for help, and the Chinese government said basically, fuck you, figure it out yourself. And the Chinese government put them in that position because they passed policies and laws that said that you can't finance the way they were financing, which is really messed up. But kind of what's your take on it if those ripples were to hit the United States, if they went into some sort of economic recession?
I don't think they will. To me, that sounds like an internal Chinese problem. I don't know how the price of real estate in China really, in any regard, whether it skyrockets or the bottom falls out, is that I don't see that having a huge impact on us.
Yeah, they're still going to make our Nikes.
Yeah. Yeah, Taiwan, fucking Cambodia, Vietnam, they're still going to make all that shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to me, like, I'm assuming it's largely residential, or do you know?
It's a mix of both. So it was everything from factories to residential, like apartment complexes, to commercialized buildings.
Yeah. To me, the only potential impact I can see that would cause any ripple effect here is on a commercial standpoint with Apple factories and shit like that, maybe. Mm-hmm. But even that, it would be a speed bump, I think, and that they'd figure something out pretty fucking quick. And I also think, when it comes to billions of dollars of products being manufactured in China for the United States, I think that's probably where you may see the Chinese government actually get involved and bail them out, or at least help with some sort of fucking solution, because they're not going to want their GDP and economy to fucking tank if it does negatively impact American production companies. But I just don't think it's going to have an impact. On the same token, I think we're doing a good enough job on our own from inflation, like we talked about last week, to fuck up the prices of homes and the cost of goods skyrocketing everywhere else, to where I think, irrespective of what happens in China, I think we're doing a goddamn good job of fucking ourselves over in that regard.
Yeah, we got over 3 years still to really, really fuck our country up. So y'all don't even worry about that.
Yep.
We got this.
Yep.
Our country will be a shithole in no time.
I mean, it almost does seem like it's a contest at this point.
Yeah, it's who can fuck it up the worst.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you did this, I'm going to try this. It's like a one-up game of who can fuck the country up more or worse.
Yeah, politics, and here's two things. I enjoy talking about them with people who understand them, politics and money. But with someone who don't understand that there's multiple factors and all that shit, it gets really boring.
Yeah.
To fuck with someone. Like, I have people who, when I see them because they've listened to the show or whatever, one of the first things, what do you think about Biden? And how much money do you make? It's like, bitch, shut up.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a certain level of understanding, and I think that's honestly where a lot of shitty policies come from, I think, is that you've got the masses who as it relates to politics and kind of the geopolitical scenarios that exist and impact the country internationally is that a lack of education. I'm not going to say they're fucking dumb. They're just not very well versed or highly educated as it relates to those matters.
Let me disagree with you. They're fucking dumb. Go ahead.
I mean, because I've met some really fucking intelligent people, and I talk about this in dogs often. There's a big difference between being intelligent and being educated. I know some really, really intelligent people that are not very well educated, and I know some incredibly highly educated people that are total fucking morons. And sometimes you get the worst of both. They're dumb and they're uneducated, and sometimes you get people that are really smart and well educated. But anyway, I think the problem is that it's really easy to have very little understanding of something, but kind of just enough to be dangerous and have an unvalidated opinion. And then, you're the one kicking and screaming the loudest and having protests and marches and waving signs, not really having a true grasp of what it is that you're trying to change. And it's just politically expedient to say, raise wages or, tax the rich or, all these stupid cheese dick fucking taglines that a lot of people attach themselves to, and they want to feel important and they want to feel like they're making a difference and that they're standing behind something because they're fucking bored. And that's dangerous. I think that's what causes most of the shitty political ideas that end up getting passed is, you have these spineless fucking politicians that buckle to the masses uneducated fucking ideas about what they think is just or right or needed or whatever, and the fact is it's not. And the reality is that a lot of it is because of social media. But you've got politicians who now it's not really about good policies and smart legislation. It's about a popularity contest and who has the most retweets and followers on Instagram and whatever else. And so you've got these politicians now that are focused on the wrong things. The reality of it is that when you're a leader, and this, owning your own business, I know for me too, even being the head of a household, in charge of a military unit, is that, your job is to not be well liked, or should I say that that's not the driving factor. Like, yeah, it's important. I mean, if your entire whatever team, entity, family, employees, whatever, fucking hate you, that's going to turn into a problem. But you can't start most of your policy decisions based on, well, how many people are going to like this or not. The reality of it is when you're in a position of leadership, like, it's your job to be able to and concisely give people bad news and make unpopular fucking decisions that people don't like and execute them and get them to implement things that maybe they disagree with. But I think that's one of the biggest problems in this country is all of that kind of uneducated kicking and screaming when they don't really realize what they're even claiming to fight for.
Yeah. I mean, perfect example. You guys seen it last week and don't even realize exactly what he's talking about there at the end is we had to make a decision for our show, which is a business in some aspects, and we had to let someone go and make different choices. Some of you didn't like it. The majority of you are fine with it because you know what we're going to do. And the ones that don't like it, fuck off. But, I mean, in all honesty, that's how it is with the family. I mean, family, business, we have to make choices. The choices suck. Yeah. And, hell, what you were saying, I was just telling Zohan, I know someone who is probably one of the brightest motherfuckers I've ever met, books-wise. Mm-hmm. But if I were to tell him as I'm sitting in the other office and said, hey, you need to go to the bathroom, it's through this door to the left. But because I didn't tell them there was another doorway they'd have to go through, As soon as they make that first turn, they see that door. Well, fuck, there ain't no bathroom here. Even though that you look into the bathroom, you know, and it's just some people are so fucking smart, but have no common sense.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers would get lost in a fucking circle.
Yeah. Well, and you know, for me on the educated part, like you see people that, you know, come from really, really, you know, meager or humble means, you know, that just didn't have the opportunity education-wise, or they had to work as young kids. You know, they barely graduated high school, or they didn't even finish school or whatever, but they're smart as fuck, you know, and those are the people that are hustlers that, you know, whether it's from a criminal element, you know, a lot of, you know, gangsters, mobsters, you know, professional criminals may not be super educated, but are smart as fuck, you know, and that's how they're successful at breaking the law and skirting rules and whatever else. But, you know, so, you know, again, I just think there's a ton of people out there that are misguided and you know, it's too easy to attach yourself to a hashtag or a fucking, you know, quick little one-liner that sounds good on paper, or, you know, in theory, a lot of people are quick to get behind, but it ultimately just doesn't, it's not that fucking simple. But.
Yeah. I'll admit, I'm not a book reader. I can do math like nobody's business, math in my head, all that shit. I love history, but when it comes to proper English, I don't give a fuck, which you know that when it comes to our text. Bitch, can you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. If you can understand what I'm saying, then I'm getting my point across. Yeah. It's not going to be the best written fucking thing, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, a lot of it comes from dog training, and that communication is so fucking important that, you know, I think a lot of times people undervalue just how important it is, you know. But the fact is that if you don't understand things, it's hard to get past that, you know, and that's why I'm kind of anal retentive when it comes to whether it's just making sure it's the right form of to, you know, in a text message or whatever, is that I like to be understood. I think most people do. But more importantly, if you're misunderstood or you miscommunicate things, and that's where a lot of fucking problems stem. And to me, it's an unforced error. But
see, all my shit's other stuff. Like, I'll spell business wrong so many fucking times. But yeah, I'm the same way too. Like, I will say a sentence in my head multiple times, be like, yeah, that's got an extra O at the end. Fuck y'all.
Or the three forms of there.
Yeah. Or live. What English is stupid.
No, it is. I mean, all languages have their weird nuances that way. But is that all you got, Zohan, or you got other shit?
And if it's stupid, like another motherfucking in Africa, did you notice?
We're gonna run half the show on Zohan's questions. Fuck, we're already about there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about 35 minutes in since I've started recording, because I see a big ass REC.
Oh, you're keeping track now. That's good.
Red. Yeah, that's why I put the other one.
That's congratulations. Proud of you.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Why aren't any of the lights on the cameras?
Why are they all blinking?
Yeah.
They're recording too. I wiped the SD cards and made sure they're recording all from scratch. See, I'm on top of my shit today.
All right.
Okay, what's your next question?
My next question is, well, this is kind of just a really funny thing that happened. If you guys were watching the New York Jets game, I don't know who they were playing, but the fans were yelling, you know, F Joe Biden.
You can say fuck Zohan.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they were saying fuck Joe Biden on like repetitively, like a chant. And the reporter goes, they're yelling, "Let's go, Brandon."
Well, that was a NASCAR interview, but yeah, I saw that. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's plain as day. Fuck Joe Biden. Like, oh, they're saying "Let's go, Brandon." Like, no, I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I was busy looking at a hot realtor. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you, normally the day of and the day before the show, I really try to look into news, especially with how we are getting closer to when we launch. And I got lost in this hot motherfucking realtor chick. So I was looking at houses I'll never be able to afford.
Yeah.
But damn, I'm pretty sure I could get a good weekend in with her.
Yeah.
I'm glad my wife don't watch this shit.
The you know, to me, it's about as clear of an example that exists, you know, of media bias and just sticking their fucking head in the sand, because there can't be a way that fucking woman didn't understand what the crowd was chanting. I mean, it was plain as fucking day. But yeah, I mean, it's typical. I mean, most of the media is overwhelmingly, you know, left leaning, and they're incredibly hypocritical in terms of the things that they cover versus what they don't. You know, the right is guilty of it as well, just not nearly as bad because there's so few right-leaning media outlets to even have the opportunity to be biased that way. That you know, that by comparison, percentage-wise, it's negligible. But yeah, it's funny, but to me, it's just sad. You know, it's sad that's the state of affairs media-wise in this country. But kind of notes you got over there, Chief?
I didn't take a lot. I'm not going to lie because I was looking at that hot realtor bitch. But next week is the 1 year anniversary of Uninfluenced.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's on Wednesday is our exact year.
Yep. So we're going to both sit on the motorcycle naked and record it that way.
Yeah. No, we're not. Yeah, so a year. And it's crazy because I'm not real good with anniversaries or dates because I have shit. Matter of fact, to remember my wedding anniversary, I tattooed it on myself. But it's cool that we have fans and friends of the show that will reach out and be like, hey, y'all realize it's almost been a year?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I mean, so
It's hard to believe.
it'll be 43, 40. This is 44 we're recording, right?
Yeah, this is 44.
So 45, if you think about it, 45 will be our anniversary show, which we'll record next Monday. Out of a year, we only missed 7 episodes with all the crazy shit we have in our life.
Yeah,
We only missed getting y'all 7 weeks of shit.
that's not too shabby.
That's not bad at all. Y'all are fucking welcome. But it's crazy. It's been a year. I mean, we met I would say some pretty cool people in the chat.
Yeah.
We got Brandon. Where the hell's my cup? Is your cup over there?
No, I put mine in the storage. I got the headband.
Headband's cool. So Brandon made us these cool ass Yetis with the logo etched in. They're badass. Mine's at home. I stuck it in my wife's pussy so she can hold on to it, safekeeping.
Do the Steven Tyler fucking.
It's her prison wallet. I figure women have prison purses, not wallets, too, by the way.
Yeah, that
There's
makes
a
sense.
lot of room. I mean, they can carry a baby up in there.
I'd call it a prison suitcase then.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a lot
Duffel
of shit
bag?
you can put in there. Yeah. But yeah, a year, it's really overwhelming, and some of the people we've met and talked to and things, and just how the show started. We wanted to start a show based mainly on cars and our hobbies and shit we like to do. And that's how the show came up. Me and Micah were on the way to pick up one of our cars. I think it was one of mine. I can't remember. And I was like, hey, I've been asked to start a podcast. I don't really want to do it. I don't know how. And Mike was like, fuck, I'll come do a couple with you. I'm like, well, fuck it. If you'll do a couple, just let's do them all.
Yeah.
And then it turned into this. And hell, I mean, we got this sign over here by someone who listens to the show, and it's fucking cool.
We got a free tie-up session with Danny
Yeah.
out of the deal.
Yeah. Danny wants to get tied up, and she wants us to see what we can put in her prison suitcase. And kinky fucker. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. And yeah, we've closer to the year we made a change. Some of you didn't like, and sorry, but go watch something else. But for the grand scheme of things, everything we do is to better ourselves or better our y'all's viewing and listening experience.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, ultimately, this is a product. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of considerations that go into the development of a product. It goes through, you know, changes and 2.0, 3.0, you know, et cetera. And that's the way it works, you know, and just like we were talking about earlier, you know, sometimes the decisions, you know, maybe the consumer doesn't completely understand them. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You know, the other reality is that no matter what, you know, we could take every recommendation that we've ever gotten, and there's still going to be people that are pissed. You know, because there's some people that don't want it to change. They want it to stay exactly the same. There's other people that want to see this change. There's some people that want that change. Some people want more of this. Some people want less of that. You can't make everybody happy. You know,
No.
We do our best to continue to put out a product. And again, at the end of the day, the fact that you guys are the consumer of the product is the reason that we do this. You know, we joke and fuck around a lot, you know, with the go fuck yourself and choke yourself and watch something else and whatever. But ultimately, you know, we are here because you guys are listening to it and watching it. So we do appreciate it. But
what's humbling and cool, Zohan fucked up last week. There was no video.
Yeah, people still watch the shit out of it.
They watched, 3,000 people still watched our logo to listen to what we had to talk about. Because in that, and Zohan didn't fuck this up, I fucked this up. The podcast didn't go on Spotify and iTunes. Now, it will still go up, the one that's on YouTube. It will still go up. It'll be episode 43. We figured out what I did wrong. We're going to put it up. But that wasn't Zohan. That was 100% me. But still, 3,000 people watched our logo just to listen to us.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, I mean, that's pretty cool. Put that in perspective, what 3,000 people is. And we've had it as far as high as 10, and I think we've had higher at some point. But to me, it's just awesome that 3,000 people want to listen to our dumb shit long enough to look at a logo.
Yeah.
You know,
we appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate you and didn't bitch. So let's get into some cool shit. So there I was with Zohan's mom.
Is your mom hot, Zohan?
Well, I mean, considering she's my mom, I would like to say she's hot, but I love my mom.
I know I'm not asking you, are you attracted to her? But, you know, I mean, you can understand, like, yeah, my mom's a fucking good looking lady or not.
Yeah, my dad, she's way out of my dad's league. I will say that. Dad, I don't know how you did that, but good job.
Are they watching this show?
No.
Be cool if they was.
My dad might, but
That'd make the holidays fucking awkward, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I doubt they do.
Yeah.
Dad, I was just bullshitting. You're a good man. So Zohan's confused. So as him, if he listened to a lot of the shows, and he claimed he did.
I know the sister story because Tyler Rippey explained it to me.
Yeah.
And I do have a sister.
Yeah, so you do?
I do.
You got any news?
How old is she, though? Hold on. How old is she?
Yeah.
You're fucking 18, so how old's your sister?
She's younger than me.
Yeah,
Fuck,
never mind.
never mind.
We'll talk about her.
Yeah. We'll go back to your mom.
She's turning 16 in December. We're both December kids.
That's far enough, thanks.
Well, yeah. Our 3-year anniversary, y'all remind us to talk about Zohan's sister. Yeah. Bring it back? Is that what? Circle back? Whatever that bitch says?
Yeah, fucking circling it back to T. Rippey. Did he send you the video on the new bike?
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Matter of fact.
Can we post that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's post it.
He sent it to me. You want to put that in?
So right in here,
Yeah.
we're going to put a video of Mike's new toy. But we haven't videoed it yet. So this is just a sneak peek of what we got a video.
Yeah. It's a bad motherfucker.
It's a bad motherfucker. I told you that day because you were leaving. Weren't you leaving or some shit? You were leaving, and I came and I wrote it. But we figured out a setting from when you wrote it to when I wrote it, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. That's a bad motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that.
Yeah, the setting that it was on when I first wrote it, the engine power is at basically not limited, but it's like medium.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got this monstrous fucking engine that's half throttled basically, and I was like, the Aprilia I think is the faster, better bike, and there's still things that I do like about the Aprilia better. You know, even after riding it yesterday, and you know, I took it out for about an hour and did some twisties, did a couple of longer, faster pulls, and it's a phenomenal bike. There's two things that I still do like about the Aprilia, but 3 things actually that I still do like about it better. For me, in my seating position, it's more comfortable.
I agree.
It's not too hot the way this bike is just plain. It's still too hot.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing at least fucking 65, 70 miles an hour, it's uncomfortably warm, even in thick riding jeans with fucking pads and shit in them. And last but not least, to me, it still does handle a little better for me because it just feels a little more planted, which is more confidence inspiring. Now, I get that for some people, they just like Pista over, say, the 911 as an example, is that, I kind of prefer the Pista a little more handling wise because it actually is a little more lively and playful. I have way more experience driving than I do riding, though. So maybe down the road, the new bike would be more appealing to me in that regard, that it is a little bit more playful. For me, in my experience level right now, it's not because it just doesn't feel as grounded, you know. But not so much to where it's like, holy shit, night and day. You know, it's just enough to notice. You know, it still is very planted, still handles really, really well, just not quite on the same level as the Aprilia for my taste. But
No, I think I disagree, but you hit the nail on the head. The handling on the Aprilia to me is even better.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a aerodynamic thing like we would think. I think it's a weight thing.
yeah,
I think because the Aprilia's, what is it, 60 pounds, 70 pounds?
I mean, I didn't think it was that much heavier. I thought it was like maybe 20, but
It could be. But I mean, 20 pounds on a bike's a lot.
yeah, you know, but downforce wise, I mean, the difference between, say, a BMW with no fucking winglets, so basically has no downforce, like that Aprilia on with the dual stacked fucking winglets at, I want to say at 160 miles an hour, it's like 110 pounds of fucking downforce equivalent on the fucking handlebars, which is crazy. I mean, that's like a fucking small woman sitting on your fucking handlebars. You know, I mean, and you notice it, like it, when you're going fast, that thing is just glued to the fucking road and super planted. Whereas like the BMW up at 130, 140, 150, it starts to drift and kind of float around a little bit, which to me in a car I don't like, and a bike I fucking hate it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like on a car, if I run over a dead animal, well,
Fuck it.
big deal.
Yeah.
You know, you hit a fucking patch of gravel going around a slight curve, doesn't really matter. You do either one of those things on a bike, or even run over a fucking 2x4, like, and that's the end of your goddamn life. You know, so for me, like, especially at speeds like that, I want as much planted feeling and as much control over that fucking bike as possible, you know, and to me, it's kind of like riding a horse that is taking your fucking commands more as a goddamn suggestion.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like lazily doing those things. You know, it's just like the feedback on what you're trying to get the bike to do when it doesn't have the winglets and downforce at higher speeds is. I mean, every decision you make on it is more delayed, which, you know, on a two-wheel bike going that fucking speed, that fucking life's in your hands, you know. So
Yeah. I will say every bike I get on, and when I put it to my limit, and a matter of fact, I did it on this bike. I took it back to your house. We talked about it. But as we're talking and my adrenaline's coming down, I start like, man, if a turtle would have been out, if fucking rock would have been oversized, because I hit over 170 down that back road. And this is a 2-lane fucking road, not a highway. It's a 2-lane road that's windy with hills and shit that I probably had no business doing the speed I was doing, but I've done it on almost every bike we've fucked with too. But every time, it never fails. It always rewinds through my head. Man, if I'd have done this wrong, if a car would have pulled out,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, like I said, that's why I still prefer the Aprilia, just because of, in that environment, it's impossible for me not to consider those things, and I want as much control over that bike as I can possibly muster, and the Aprilia, for me, is the most controllable bike at every speed that I've ridden, you know,
Yeah.
and by a noticeable margin. So
The Aprilia is a fucking
yeah, it's amazing.
bang for the buck is still the top bike to me.
Yeah, because for sure, I mean, this bike is a fair bit heavier, you know, in the price category, and I still, you know, if I had to pick between the two of them, I'd still pick the Aprilia. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I would. But
If you're going off you can't test drive them, and they're both sitting there, you're not picking the Aprilia.
no, for sure not. You know, I mean, that other bike is probably the sexiest fucking bike I've ever come across. You know, I mean, it's unbelievably good looking.
Yeah.
And it's, you know it's a good bike with the brand and the cost and the how available it's not, you know, which gives some of it away. I mean, you guys will be able to figure it out as soon as you've already seen the video at this point. But yeah, it's a spectacular bike.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's kind of like the 911 and the Pista that way, in that, you know, they're both phenomenal. If I hadn't driven the Pista, like, the 911 would still be my all-time favorite car. You know, but having ridden it or driven it, you know, it does change it a little bit, but it's still, you're kind of splitting hairs there a little bit. But
Yeah, I was asked yesterday, and we kind of talked about it in the other office. Some of the cars we have, yes, and I don't know how to put this without sounding like a dick, but if the normal person were to get in my AMG or my old Ferrari or your old 911, either of our R8s, basically any of the cars we've ever owned, if you get in it and you only get to be in one of them,
Yeah.
that car is going to feel more special than any car you've probably ever been in if you've never been in a super or exotic car. But we've been in so many of them now to where when we get in them, like the Pista, went from a 488, which is the exact same car body wise, minus the hood, the tail. Well, main body, say cab, is the same. The suspension's not the same, but I went from a 488. Matter of fact, I drove my 488 to your house to drive your Pista. I got in the Pista, drove the Pista. I sat in the Pista and I looked at Mike and I said, God damn, this feels special.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was about it. Didn't start the car yet. Didn't do anything with it. And then I drove it. And it's like being married. You just want to go beat the shit out of your wife sometimes for doing stupid shit. That's what it was like getting back in my 488. I drove home depressed and angry.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
thing's
I
a
ruined that.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and then, but if you were to jump in my 488 from a Chevy truck, that would be the most amazing thing you've probably ever driven.
Yeah.
And so I was asked, how do you know when it's special? When you've driven as many as we have, that's why I get bored so fast, is because everything I'm driving after the Pista, I'm comparing to the Pista.
Yeah. Same here, you know, and again, it's a good problem to have, and a fortunate one for sure. And it's a great mix. I mean, to me, what I love about having both of them is that, you know, I drive the Turbo S day to day, you know, I mean, pretty much every day and multiple times a day. I run errands in it. I fucking, you know, do the daily shit in it. And it's fun. It's fast. It's an amazing car, but it's different enough from the Pista to where now when I still get in the Pista on weekends or, you know, going for a night drive or something like that, it still feels just as special as it did when that's all I had, you know,
Yeah.
or even when I had the R8 and the Pista for a little while. It's that remarkable of a car. The downside is similarly is that it's kind of ruined everything else. Everything else I've been to, been in or been around or, you know, whatever, I just can't not compare it to that, and nothing fucking stacks up, you know, nothing. It's just, you know, it's so responsive and so fun to drive and so engaging and so connected to the road and the way that it looks and sounds and smells and feels. And I mean, it's just fucking unbelievable how good that car is. I mean, I really can't believe it. I mean, as long as I've had it now, which for us is a long time.
Yeah, it feels like a really long time.
It's still like every time I get in it, it's even more fun than it was the first time I drove it, you know, because I know it better now.
Yeah. Still my favorite thing is when we were pushing the fuck out of our cars to go to an event, and I look over and your hat's backwards and you're going past us, and my wife looked, she said, "What the fuck?" And I said, "That fool's engaged." And you were just gone.
Yeah.
But so the AMG GTR Pro was a great car, and I could drive the shit out of that car. But to me, it wasn't special. In no way, shape, or form was that not a good car.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good car for me.
Yeah, it's a great
If
car.
it was the first car I had, and I never drove your Pista or now your 911, Dick, I would have been like, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. I mean, it's like fucking, you get to fuck the prom queen.
Yeah.
And then you actually go to a bigger city where the prom queen's, you just fucks an ugly bitch.
Yeah.
And has no kind of fucking, y'all have nothing in common.
Yeah.
But I banged her.
Yeah.
You know, that's how these supercars are getting. It's like they're prom queens.
Yeah.
And the way we drive them's like banging them.
Well, yeah, it's like a 36-hour fucking bender orgy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with them is that I mean, we talk about this pretty regularly. Like I don't see other you know, dudes or you know, people that we're at a lot of the meets with that drive their cars really at all, or especially the way that we do. But to me, that's what makes them fun. And yeah, I mean, that's for sure the only negative of the Pista for me is that it's set the bar to a degree with which, you know, it really makes it hard to enjoy almost anything else. You know, but
There's one car. There's one car that I would say put up there with my top. That's not the Pista, and you know the car. Everybody knows my dream car is the 812 Superfast.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't think it's going to handle worth the fuck. I just don't. I think it's going to handle okay.
Yeah. I mean, not compared to.
I wouldn't even say to the 911.
Yeah, probably not. But I honestly, I mean, I think the new 992, I really would love to see the same guy that got a 7 flat in the Pista drive that at the Nürburgring. And I'll bet, I would bet it'd be real close, if not even faster. You know?
Yeah.
I really do. But I could be wrong. But
the 812, the way that thing sounds,
oh, it's fucking nasty.
Feel the specialness in it.
Especially, I mean, that Novatec fucking exhaust in that thing is just,
yeah, it's
absurd, man.
So we talk a lot about the Aventador being, to us, a piece of shit. It's not dual clutch. It's very harsh because it's not a dual clutch, and there's no visibility of it. So if you can take all that, ball it up, and you can pull out 4 things you want to fix, that's what Ferrari did.
Yeah.
They said, okay, we're going to take this Aventador, we're going to make something faster, we're going to make it rear-wheel drive only, and have a dual clutch.
Yeah.
And here you go. Here's the 812 Superfast. And it's called the 812. A lot of people, it's got 812 horsepower. No, it don't, bitch. It's got 800 horsepower, and it's 12-cylinder.
Yeah.
So it's 800, I think it's NM, what's that, the Newton meter power, which is less than horsepower, if I remember right.
Yeah, so Newton meters are the torque measurement, and yeah, like,
that's it, yeah.
You know, and I don't, you know, I don't know what the calculation is of 1 Newton meter equaling, you know, it's less than 1 foot-pound by a fair bit, because cars with like 640 torque is like 810 Newton meters. I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's considerably less, but that's usually the Euro measurement is Newton meters for torque. But
that car's sound is amazing. So basically, they took everything an Aventador has that a lot of people don't like. They fixed it. They put it out there at a better price.
yeah,
And you still get Italian. You feel special, and you get a fucking maintenance program that nothing fucking touches.
yeah, that's the fucking truth.
Ferrari's maintenance program,
Can't be beat.
it can't be beat. I mean, and you're paying for it, but you're getting 7 years of maintenance with it.
Yeah,
And while you people are like, oh, well, for the price of the car, you should. I said you're paying for it. A McLaren is $3,000 to $5,000 to maintenance.
yeah,
Now do that times 7 years, and at the low end you're at $21,000. At the high end you're at what, $50,000 or $35,000. $35,000 you could add to your sticker price because you have to pay for every one of them.
Yeah.
The first one ain't free. You have to pay for every one of them bitches.
yeah,
And it's the same with Lamborghini. Lamborghini's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. The Aventador's even more.
yeah.
So,
And even R8s are fucking expensive.
oh yeah,
But,
which is a Huracan.
yeah,
I always trip out when someone says, I need more attention or I want more flash. So I sold my R8, I'm going to get a Huracan. What?
yeah,
The fuck did you just say?
yeah. I mean, it's the same.
Sounds like
shit.
you need to learn more about cars because you just sold a cheaper Huracan.
Yeah,
And it's the same with us with the RSQ8s. They're the same as the fucking Lamborghini Urus.
yeah,
It's the exact same car.
yeah,
Exact same seats. Exact same infotainment center. Actually, the Audis is a little bit better on the speedometer. They're just better cars.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're a year in. Zohan, you got anything to add on any of that?
Matt, do the people know where your car, the GTR Pro, is gone?
No, and I don't care to tell them.
No?
No,
That's
the
my
new owner.
business.
The new owner can talk about that. And then nobody's going to know what the hell I'm getting, if I'm even getting anything. Fuck, I may retire from this game until
Probably.
I can afford a Pista or an 812 Superfast. I might not. We don't know. But
You do know.
we do know, but y'all don't know.
You're
you
about
may
to find out.
Yeah. You're going to learn today, bitch. Yeah, no, I don't really ever, only a few of my cars have we talked about where they're going, and one of them was because another YouTuber got it, and I don't really talk about it because I don't care. Yeah. They're good cars, and when I get them, they leave as good or better than when I got it. This one's actually leaving a lot better than when I got it. Yeah. I would say night and day different. Yeah. The fucking car's a monster.
Yeah, it's a good car.
It just wasn't for me. I mean, nothing wrong with the car. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What do you got planned? You don't even need anything anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's kind of the dilemma is, and it is something that I have considered, over the last week or two is, do I need both of them? And for that matter, I mean, I don't need either one of them. It's for sure not about need. But there is a component of it that it's like, fuck, should I really have both of these cars? And for now, sure. There's nothing to say that, a couple months from now, I may not get rid of one and keep the other, or, whatever. And I don't know which one that would be yet, or if that'll even happen. I mean, I very well may just hang on to both. I don't know. But, I do find myself kind of thinking that a little bit of like, what's the point of having both of them? I mean, granted, the way that I do it is about as justifiable as I can make it.
Yeah.
Which probably still sounds laughable, but yeah, I drive the 911 daily, for running around doing errands or wherever the fuck I'm going. I'll take that because I don't mind parking that somewhere, or going through a fucking drive-through or, whatever. I mean, at a bank or fucking you name it. Park it in the Target parking lot. Like, I don't think twice about it. Whereas the Pista, I don't like parking that fucking thing anywhere because people, come up and fucking look at it and look inside it and take pictures of it and it's a little too much attention for my liking. But
you still took it to one of those ghetto areas to a Red Lobster.
Hell yeah, I did.
And parked that shit out front.
But I didn't feel good about it.
No.
Whereas like the 911, I wouldn't think twice about parking that anywhere at a Mesquite Red Lobster and fucking not worrying about it one bit. But
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean that's it's kind of a good problem to have, and then it's like fuck, I'm content with what I have, but that has a shelf life. There's going to come a time sooner than later for sure where I'm going to either want to get rid of one of them or whatever.
Or we get into side-by-sides.
Yeah, get a slingshot maybe.
Yeah. Or those jet skis I sent you last night.
Fucking V8 jet ski.
Yeah, 600 horsepower jet ski.
Fucking crazy.
We live close to a lake. Like, we could go to the backside of my area, and there's a place we could drop.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I'm enjoying what I have now so much to where car-wise, like, I'm not looking ever, like,
yeah.
I mean, really, even since I got the Pista, I kind of stopped looking. I mean, when I decided I wanted to get the 992 to replace the Cayenne, that was more, kind of not out of necessity, obviously, but I wasn't happy with that and I wanted something else. And so now it's like, well, I have that now. So yeah, just like I haven't been looking at cars or bikes for that matter. I mean, I've gotten and tried enough other motorcycles, and having the BMW, having a GSXR 1000, having the Aprilia, riding a couple different fucking other bikes, knowing kind of what I prefer and like, I'm so happy with the Aprilia. I've kind of stopped looking at them too, just because I know enough about them and I've tried enough other ones to where like all the Japanese bikes are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a professional track rider, like, yeah, he's going to be able to pick apart a GSXR versus a Ninja ZX10 versus a fucking whatever. But for me, they're kind of all the same. I haven't ridden an R1, but and I know it's got a cross plane crank, which makes it sound a little different, but ride wise, I don't think it's any different. The Fireblade, same thing. Like, yeah, it's got titanium rods. I don't think it probably spins up a little faster, and I think it revs a little higher, but I don't really like that anyway. And so to me, all the Japanese bikes are pretty similar. The German bikes are pretty similar. The Italian bikes are pretty similar. Mm-hmm. They're all different from each other. I tend to prefer the Italian bikes and cars for that matter, other than the 911 obviously being German. But so I don't know. I mean, it's it may get kind of boring on the show, just me talking about other shit and not swapping cars out every fucking other month because I just, there's nothing else that I want, you know.
Well, the beauty of that is we still have plenty of shit. We haven't reviewed all the shit we've done. Mm-hmm. The beauty is me and Zohan did record a review of the AMG GTR before it was gone.
Yes, we did.
So we're going to put a couple of those back in the cache, and then we'll start releasing them.
Yeah.
But it does open up our ability to talk about more things, politics, business, your mom.
Zohan's
mom. And just everyday guy stuff, like this hot-ass realtor I'm now following. That bitch is bad, dude.
That I'm now stalking.
Yeah. I think we're dating. She don't know it yet, but I'm sure the cops will tell her.
It's getting pretty serious.
Yeah. So
I've got a restraining order with my name on it. You can say we're pretty serious.
I got her lawyer's phone number. No, but we'll be able to talk about more shit, and it's not like this is the, hey guys, we're 1 week away from the year. Bye. Now we're just going to be able to transition into other stuff. And the beauty is with the car Mike has, we'll be able to do more upgrades and things like that to that style of car. You know, there's tons of work that can be done to the 911 already, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah, because I ain't fucking with the Pista. So.
No. And I wouldn't blame you. I mean, the 812, yeah, I'd fuck with that. The main reason is because there's no turbos to fuck up.
Yeah.
You got to amplify that sound. Other than that, that's really all you can do other than wheels.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not a lot of fucking with the car, really. Yeah. A Pista with the liability that goes into fucking that up, no, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do anything, and that's a big if, it'd be Novatech. You know, their stage 2 tune and exhaust, which bumps it up about 80 or 90 horsepower, so they claim. But I have yet to see a single technical spec data.
Yeah, there's no dyno.
Anything, you know, from dyno to 0 to 60 to 60 to 130 quarter mile. Like I haven't seen a single piece of data that says here's what it is stock, here's what it is with the Novatech tune and exhaust on it. So to me, there's probably a reason, you know, and my bet is that it's probably negligible.
Yeah.
You know, and not worth. I mean, that's about a $30,000 upgrade to do.
Do
all that.
25. I don't think it's worth $30,000.
Fuck no. I mean, especially if you can't, you know, give me definitive data. I mean, like take the supercharger for an R8 or a Huracan as an example. You know, same thing. That's a $30,000 upgrade. I mean, really closer to 40.
Mm-hmm.
There's very tangible fucking spec data on or tech data on that and what it adds both in dyno horsepower as well as performance data, you know. So
well, I mean, you could spend $20,000 on your new car.
Yeah.
Well, now it'd be like 16,000. You could spend 16,000 more right now on that, and it adds an extra 200 horsepower. Yeah. That shows you it's fucking worth fucking if you wanted to get to that spot. But right now, like you said, if you can't show me any fucking where other than fuck, we could start a company tomorrow. Hey, if y'all buy this, you stick in your OBD, you get 50 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it's just a blank ass motherfucking dongle you stick up in there.
Do shit.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, I need to talk to you about something after the show. I was brainstorming today. It has nothing to do with the show, so fuck y'all. I think you got some awesome cars.
Well, it's hard to argue. I mean, I'm damn sure happy with them. It's kind of surreal, honestly, being able to pick between those two cars every time, you know, that or jumping on one of the bikes. I mean, like every time I go out in the garage, I gotta fucking slap myself and remind myself that I can actually jump into one of these. It's fucking weird, honestly, but I'm not bitching about it. That's for sure.
So I have a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
So I know that Matt has his BMW X5 competition where if he needed to get something or load something bigger onto that, like, you know, lumber, he had a project to do at home, he's able to with that real estate or that space in the back of his car.
Yeah.
How much can you fit in the back of that Porsche? Because that's your kind of daily car.
Bend over, I'll show you.
Put your mom in there.
Well, so to caveat, that's my daily driver for just me. I also have an RSQ8, and I also have an F-150 fucking pickup truck with a camper shell on the back. So if I need to move furniture and shit like that, I still can and do. You know, if I deliver dogs or do like carjacking scenarios with the dogs or anything where I'm moving shit around, picking up bags of salt for, you know, the water softener, I mean, whatever, then I'll take either the RSQ8 or the F-150. But like really the only time I take those are for, you know, road trips or errands where it specifically needs that car. If I don't need that extra space, I'll always take the 911 and occasionally the Pista just for the fuck of it, depending on, you know, weather or what I'm doing or what have you. If I'm running a quick errand where I just got to go, you know, drop something off like paperwork wise or whatever, then I may take the Pista just for fun. But so it's not like those are the only two cars or a motorcycle I have. I can take big shit too, just like your mom. What?
Is it bad that I got excited when I heard for carjacking, and then I got sad when you said scenarios? Like I'm like, fuck yeah, that just shows where I came from.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But yeah, I mean, running carjack scenarios with dogs and vehicles, you don't get an appreciation for how hard it is on a vehicle until you do it once, and it will trash the inside of your fucking car.
Still say Neil's a bitch for that time he didn't break a window. Yeah. You show
I'm glad he didn't.
You show me that video.
Please continue to do so.
Yeah, break that window. Yeah. I want this shit to be realistic.
Yeah, fucking shoot at me.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
yeah, and for that same scenario, I use Mike's truck when I need to move something big too.
Yeah, so like Zohan's mom.
Yeah.
The to answer your question though, I mean it is for what it is. Like I said in the lead up to announcing it, it is ridiculously practical for what you get performance-wise and being in that like supercar segment. In my old the 991.2 that I had, which inside is as far as I know the exact same dimensions, or it's close enough to not notice any difference.
Yeah.
You know, Matt and I with two other people, granted they were smaller, slighter built females, in the back seats. You know, went to a sushi joint that was 45, 50 minutes away, you know, one night, and it's still got all of that room in the front trunk as well. So, I mean, you can put 4 fucking adults in there. I mean, could you fit guys he and I's size in the back? Probably not. You could put one back there, you know, and have, you know, your feet on one side and sit on the other. So, you know, you could have 3 fucking dudes our size fit in that car, no problem. Mm-hmm. And the front trunk, again, is very fucking roomy. I mean, like I've gone shopping, like I went to REI a couple of times with it over the last few weeks. And, you know, you can fit like 4 or 5 big fucking department store bags in that. I mean, it's the size of a small trunk, you know, so, you know, I put coolers with fucking drinks when we go to car meets in it. I mean, I do that in the Pista too. But so, I mean, like I said, the 911 is by far the most practical everyday supercar by far. I mean, by far for what you get performance wise and how it looks and what it brings to the table on the street. I mean, it's far more practical than anything else. But it's of course not as practical as an X5M or an RSQ8 or a truck or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. Yeah, there's a lot of good cars out there, but I think through the trial and error, especially over the last, we've been hanging out over a year now, right? We've had a lot of fucking cars over this past year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a year and a half.
Yeah, we went through a lot of fucking cars. So we did a lot of trial and error for you people.
Yeah.
You're welcome again.
You people.
You people.
Well, the other thing too, in the 911, Porsche actually makes a fucking car seat for babies. It's got the latch system in both rear seats, so you could put a car seat, and people do. Like I said, they sell it. Yeah. So I mean,
and it's not expensive.
Yeah,
it's the one thing from Porsche.
Yeah, it's not any more expensive than any other car seat.
Yeah, that you go to Babies R Us or somewhere and get. It's $395 or something.
I don't know. I thought it was like $170, but I mean, it's not.
The toddler one is. Yeah. So the infant one is which is normal for car seats. Yeah. The infants are more expensive to support the head, and then the toddlers are cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen that and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean they when you say they thought of everything, when they built that car, they really started thinking of everything. You know?
Yeah, and like if it's just two of you, like, I mean, you can put backpacks and suitcases and luggage and shit in those back seats on the floor. I mean, you could fit probably 5 or 6 backpacks, carry-on size bags in the back. No bullshit. You could put one in the foot space on each side. You could put, 2 or 3 in the actual seat part, maybe even one in the middle, and then you could probably put another 3 or 4 in the front trunk. So I mean, there is a lot of room, again, for what it is. I don't know how the fuck they've managed to squeeze that much room out of it, but I guess it's because it's technically a rear engine car, because the engine is behind the rear axle, whereas the Pista and most of the sports cars that are considered mid engine, even though it's behind you and it seems like it should be rear, it's technically forward of the rear axle by 1.5 inches, and so it's called a mid engine car. But those cars have half the amount of room. Like if you look at my Pista compared to the 911, like the behind the driver's seat amount of room in the Pista, you could put your wallet back there. I mean, it's basically just a fucking wall. I mean, there's like 3 inches, a little ledge 3 inches, and like some cargo net space if you wanted to put like a small purse or something like that. But
no damn armrest.
Yeah, there's no armrest and no room, no fucking console.
So if you're going on a rally, which one are you taking?
Oh, the fucking 911, hands down.
F-150. Yeah. Wow. Following everybody in the F-150.
Yeah. But if it was a long one, yeah. I mean, if it was a day or two, it was like one overnight, probably the Pista. But like if I was doing the Gold Rush or something, yeah, for sure the 911.
Definitely would check the roads, because that matters a lot. Yeah, that 911, like I said, the time I drove it, well, I drove it twice. Once I didn't get on it, and the next time you trick fucked me and you had it tuned, and I drove it. That's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
but
that's a phenomenal car, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a weird ass text about somebody wanting to see me naked.
Nothing weird about that.
No. Yeah, and this is a nice guy. So that's it for today, pretty much. You got anything else?
Just again, like, I know we joke around a lot. We do really appreciate all your guys' support and tuning in, and that does mean a lot to us. I know that, there's always people that say, you guys suck at this, or you should do this better, or more of this, less of that. Even that stuff, still appreciate your fucking feedback and opinion, and the fact that you watch the show and give a shit enough to have an opinion on it. So, we do like to joke with you guys and tell you to fuck off and whatever, but no bullshit. We do really appreciate the support and you guys tuning in. So,
and on both shows, I would say this one and Mic Drop, we really do look at almost every comment, and the ones that critique the show, as far as, hey, the lighting sucked, or hey, the audio. Once we start seeing shit like that and we start noticing it, we pay attention. So just keep that shit in mind. And the other ones, y'all can fuck off. What I have noticed is a lot of emails I get or Instagram replies. I guess me calling y'all fuck sticks, you really enjoy. I wonder if we should make a shirt that says fuck, sure uninfluenced fuck sticks.
Yeah, fuck sticks club or something.
Yeah, or fucking coffee cups or something for you guys. Put in the comments, those of y'all that have been this far to the end, if you'd want something like that, coffee cups or shirts or something that says
merch ideas.
Yeah, because we could do like an uninfluenced in the front, or small uninfluenced, and in the back we could just do like that stick figure dude fucking a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be a nice cartoon stick, something like that. Yeah. Someone's over there talking about, I'm going to copyright that real quick.
Yeah.
Fuck this dude.
Don't doubt it.
But yeah, let us know. Other than that, the last episode you will be able to find on Spotify and Pandora, all that shit, Apple, iTunes. We still can do that, right? Isolate the audio and move it.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Okay,
we'll
so
get it done.
We're gonna do that, launch it, and then we'll launch this one. They'll both be up. That's my fuck up. Zohan just fucked up the whole video. Other than that, everything else, that's my fault. So that's it, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe. If you want T-shirts, any of that shit, not this one. Brandon made me this one. It's down in the description. Bonfire, blah, 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 uninfluenced says merch. So go check it out. If not, fuck off. We'll see y'all next week. Bye, bitches.